Yo, Cicero here, and today we're going to be doing a game review. I know, different, huh? Now, fair warning, these are my opinions and my opinions only. I do not care what your opinions are. This is my opinions on the game that I just recently played, and this game is Drake's Fortune, the first Uncharted game. Now, I've heard a lot about the Uncharted games. I have not started the second one yet, but I have heard a lot of conflicting opinions. Now, I have a lot of conflicting opinions on the first game, the first Uncharted, Drake's Fortune. Now, I know some people are not gonna like my opinions, but that is the internet for ya. Deal with it. Anywho, let's get on to the short game review. Now, what do I like about the game? Well, the story and voice acting is phenomenal. Now, for a game that's been out for a few years now, the graphics are still very nice, especially with the remastered edition, which is what I played. Now, vice versa, somebody's gonna be in the comments saying, "Well, you didn't have the experience of playing it with the original graphics." Oh, I don't care. If it's the same game, it's the same game, regardless of graphics or if it has less pixels or not. But either way, the levels are phenomenal looking. So, on the magnitude of that, there is an issue that I have that reminds me of a lot of the Assassin's Creed games. When you're trying to scale a ledge or jump to an area, but it just doesn't jump there. You end up jumping too far or jumping too less, and then you end up falling into the abyss and then dying. Now, to be fair, that's normally an Assassin's Creed thing. You know what I'm talking about when you slightly tap the jump button too far and yeet yourself off a cliff or off a building. Now, Uncharted Drake's Fortune, the first game, has that issue. You sometimes yeet yourself off the cliff when you're trying to scale to the other ledge, and it's not in your control. Now, it's a very frustrating thing, especially when it does it multiple times, as it has done with me when I was playing it multiple times on different levels. But, hopefully the second game is a lot better. But there's also another issue. It's when it gives you puzzles, but the puzzles are very cryptic on what you're supposed to do. Now, if you know how to do the puzzles, it is very straightforward. There's common sense. But if you do not, or you're not trying to figure out a puzzle for 4 to 3 hours, you tend to look stuff up on YouTube, like a walkthrough, and some of these. Now, not blaming the game, of course, but some of the walkthroughs on these puzzles in the Uncharted Drake's Fortune are absolutely atrocious. They are so bad that you might as well try and figure out the puzzle yourself because the walkthroughs are atrocious. Now, not all of them are atrocious, but a lot of them are. So if you ever have to look up a walkthrough, just telling you may be there for 15 minutes trying to find a walkthrough that doesn't, turn the camera so you don't see which way the puzzle's supposed to go. So, there is that. So, the puzzles, they're difficult, which I don't mind. I don't mind difficult puzzles. I think more games should have them, but I think they should allow you to have hints on the puzzles. Because sure, you have the notebook, but the notebook is kind of difficult to decipher. I mean, I was playing the game when I was extremely tired, which I necessarily should not have done, but I could not figure out some of the puzzles for the life of me. So I looked for YouTube tutorials and, look on Google could barely find any eligible walkthroughs because it's either that it was in such bad quality that you couldn't even see what they were doing, or they just obscured the camera so much that you couldn't even see what angle they were pointing the puzzles at, which is an issue in itself. So yeah, if you ever want to play this game, although you probably have if you are getting this video and you're recommended, but if you have not played it, fair warning, the puzzles are difficult, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Just be wary that the puzzles tend to be more difficult than Skyrim puzzles. And you know what I'm talking about if you've played Skyrim, because the puzzles are way too easy. And I mentioned either that is the issue. The puzzles not giving a valid hints on how to beat them can be frustrating. The more frustrating thing is how long it takes for the game to give you a hint on where to go if you're stuck. Now, if you turn on hints on the game, you normally should be able to hit a button to tell you, hey, you're supposed to go here, which in some games I do, sometimes I don't. I only turn on hints if I absolutely need to, or I've never played the game before and I need to learn the controls. But in Uncharted, it gives you the option for hints, but it tries to give you enough time to figure it out yourself, which is not a bad thing. But I would like the option to be able to press a button to say, hey, you're supposed to go here, or point me in the right direction, instead of me fumbling around like a chicken with its head cut off. Because that was most of my experience to the Uncharted. So, now, opinions on the game. The game, again, iffy. Story's wonderful. The gun mechanics and the shooting, I absolutely loved. I loved being able to duck behind cover, and you have to be strategic. I love strategic gun games. Don't get me wrong, I like Call of Duty with, just running up and shooting people, but Uncharted has a really good gun mechanics. Really good. Good. And the enemies they act fairly well. They're not too unfair, but they will mow you down on harder difficulties. Which, I played at normal mode, which it was difficult, mind you. And I like a challenge with my games, so I do appreciate it. Also, about the game, I appreciate if you play it on normal mode, if you're going for, say, the achievement run. It gives you the easy mode achievement as well as the normal mode achievement if you play in normal mode. Now, I really appreciate that, because as an achievement hunter as myself, I love collecting the achievements. Well, some of the achievements. There's some games with achievements that I don't necessarily have the time for. Mainly 24-hour achievements. I don't got time for that. But in the magnitude of that, yeah, I like the achievement aspect. And although the game does tell me multiple times, it's like, hey, do you want to speed run this? I'm like, no, because I'm not a speedrunner. I may do some speed runs eventually to try and test it out, but I am not a speedrunner. So, will I replay the game again? Now, there's a possibility I will replay the game again. The story is phenomenal, and I like the gunplay, but one of the few reasons I'd probably play Drake's Fortune again is either for achievements, to finish off the achievement list, so, get that nice 100% score, or I'm showing my friend or my girlfriend how to play the game. But besides that, yeah, there's a few things I don't like. I've already gone over the stuff I didn't like like such as the awkward climbing and scaling mechanic when you're on cliffs and such. But there are some levels, I didn't mention this, there are some levels that don't tell you what you're necessarily supposed to do. It gives you a fair direction on what you're supposed to do. But there's this level that I embarrassingly got stuck on for almost an hour because I didn't understand that you were supposed to jump across. Now, there's these swinging, flaming lanterns with spikes on them that I figured that you were supposed to wait and go across them. No, you're not supposed to do that. Well, for some of them, you are. But there's this one portion of the level where you have to jump across onto the cliff. To the other ledge, I mean. But it doesn't tell you that. So, and also the ledge looks like it's too far away to jump. So, in the magnitude of that, I wish it would have told me that. Now, I ended up finding how to beat that level, not from a walkthrough, because there's damn well no walkthroughs on that portion that I could find, and I spent a good 10 minutes looking for some. But I ended up watching a speedrunner go through the level, and I figured out how to beat it. So I'll link the speedrunner into the comments down below, because unintentionally they helped me quite a bit with trying to beat the level, because I didn't realize you can jump across a chasm onto the other bridge. So yeah, lovely. Now, that's pretty much it. I mean, sure, the game has a lot of treasures you can collect, which I don't mind collectibles in games. It's pretty much, like the Assassin's Creed collectibles. You don't need to get them, but if you want to go for 100%, you gotta look out for them. And if you're not paying attention, you can miss a lot of the collectibles, so that is a fair warning if you are going to play the game. But now, I don't really have much else to say. This has been my game review on Uncharted Drake's Fortune. I may do another walkthrough on some other games, maybe on the other Uncharted games when I finish playing them. But I'm going to end the walkthrough here, guys. This has been Cicero, and hopefully you enjoyed. And if you're new and haven't subscribed yet, maybe consider subscribing so you don't miss more gaming-related content. Either way, hopefully you have a wonderful day or night, depending on where you live, and lovely jubbly, and I'm going to end it here. Peace.